Hey, it's Dreams, and welcome to the channel. So as a guy who spends way too much time on TikTok, before you go there, I actually cut my watch time on half this week. Yeah, you're welcome, I just said I was watching YouTube instead. So in the last few weeks, one of the things I could not avoid is ads. They're everywhere. But also this really weird summertime film called Saltburn. It's been eating up my feed, which is odd given I don't think I'm the target audience for it. Because if you know the film, 1, I'm black, 2, I'm straight, 3, I'm not into films, I'm not a film guru, 4, I don't know any of the actors or even the director itself, and 5th, I'm a gamer. You see my background right here? I like Nintendos. But just like the movie, there is one thing I cannot avoid, and that is temptation. So I decided to take the plunge to see what this new film may be about. And more importantly, I had one question in mind. Why is TikTok so obsessed with Saltburn? Now, there are 2 reoccurring themes throughout this movie. One being emotional desire, which actually is more what the director was going for, and the second one was eat the rich. Whether Emerald Fennell was trying to do that or not, it came off very much like that. So of course our main character Oliver is your typical fish out of water, the outcast, a guy who wants to be seen for more than a nobody. When finally being able to meet someone who's rather the opposite in personality than him, he bites in, introducing Felix, the charming, gentle giant whose laid-back persona is something that complements Oliver. Honestly, I see why some people were really interested in this film because, I mean, not gonna lie, he's got everything every girl wants. This type of duo always makes up for a fun film no matter the circumstance. See, the first 1/3 of this movie actually is taking place at Oxford, their college, and you see the dynamic between the two, and also, more importantly, Oliver's dynamic with the rest of the students. And after Felix learns about Oliver's tragic backstory of having awful parents, and later figuring out his dad dies from some kind of trip accident, Oliver is invited to stay with Felix and his family over the summer vacation. And this is where the theme of Eat the Rich starts to kick in. Also, this is where the name of the movie actually comes in. Saltburn. It's the name, guys. It's the name Saltburn. Say it again. Saltburn. So you kind of see Oliver slithers his way into the family. He kind of stays close to Lady Elizabeth, which, I mean, I would too, she's pretty gorgeous. He grows a deeper yet manipulative connection with Felix's sister, Vanita. Tries his hardest to fit into the royal ways, whether he can or they accept them or not. And amongst all of this, he gains an unimaginable desire of Felix. I am telling you, the sexual tension between these two is high. And honestly, it is at its peak within the bathtub scene. You know what I'm talking about. There's 3 infamous scenes in this movie. In this scene, you see Oliver desperately trying to slurp up Felix's something water in all degrees, no matter what the relationship was, guy, girl, guy, whatever it may be, it's some crazy behavior. But honestly, this is one of the scenes I don't find shocking. It was like, I don't know, I know some people can do some crazy stuff, so it was not shocking to me. It was like, oh, whoa, it was like a lot of tension, but I never felt uncomfortable, or it was really a surprise to me. I've seen weirder things in my life. And I feel like the people who were shocked by this either fall in one of these 2 categories. A, they're expecting a fun summer film, like all good, nothing crazy, nothing sexual tension. Or B, they're just not used to homosexual tension. And if you fall in one of these categories, yeah, hey, we gotta get you out more. Even the infamous vampire scene is hilarious, in my opinion. Like let's just be real. People do this shit all the time in private. There are far more worse things. Have you been on Twitter? People are freaks out there on Twitter. They talk about most random shit like that, what they'll do with people. And when the rising action happens in the movie, which is probably my favorite scene in this whole entire movie, is when Oliver is finally caught for his lies. You don't know about this until you kind of reach up to the door and you're kind of like, oh, I think this is a nice house. I think maybe he might be lying about this. And what had me locked in is seeing how Barry, who plays Oliver, really sells this scene. I feel like there are so many scenes like this in movies, but not everyone gets to perfect it in a certain way. I feel like this is like the most real reaction you getting caught up in a lie. Like, you're trying to get the hell out of there and trying to figure out a way of excuses. And between that all, you're like, oh, I got a headache. And Felix is like, yeah, just go get a fucking pill, idiot. All right, I know what you're fucking trying to do, okay? This scene is just, it's just the best scene in the whole entire movie. So after that, there's a whole party that Oliver's parents threw for him for his birthday and everything. But of course, he knows all of this thing's gonna come crashing down by the end of the night, especially if he can't get Felix to love him and respect him. And of course, he doesn't. And what happens after that is the whole madness of the movie. I think it's funny because within the movie, it also says we're all about to lose our minds, and that's what kind of happens at this point in the movie. Since Oliver cannot have Felix, he takes everything away. One of those, if I can't have him, no one can have him. That's the type of love that we should all desire for. Don't settle for anything less, my kings and queens out there. Felix magically turns up dead. No coincidence at all that. Following that is probably the most shocking part of this film, and that no one really talks about, which is the graveyard scene. And why is that? It's because this man, Oliver's schmeat, comes out of nowhere, bro. Man starts humping the dirt. It's crazy. Like, it doesn't even matter if there's a guy or girl in that grave. That's still, dude, I'm not trying to see some person's schmeat. I'm telling you. And to be honest with you, I would be content if the movie ended right here with Oliver's downfall of his friend, his admirer. You kind of left on a cliffhanger. But of course, you can't have cliffhangers these days, can you? Each member of the family slowly drops one by one. And it's all because of Oliver, because he set this up from the beginning. And when he gets all the wealth of the family, you know you gotta see this man dance one last time with everything all out. That was an interesting ending. Relatable. Now, even though I'm not the target demographic, I will say I was glued to this movie to about the last 20 minutes of the film because not everything is perfect. I feel as if the theme, Eat the Rich, is rather hollow given there isn't a substance on why Oliver wants them all gone. I guess the whole point is the desire of Felix and what love he wants from him, but what does that have to do with the tension between him and the family? Oliver is upper middle class, he's a really great scholar, and you could just go out to make some friends. There was like my guy who really liked him in the beginning. So aside from the Cattons being filthy rich and turning a blind eye to conflict, do they really deserve this ending? See, my issue is that there isn't a clash between the rich and the middle class within this movie. No one except Farley belittles the middle class or even belittles Oliver along the way. His win at the end feels hollow because there really isn't anything built up on the Eat the Rich side. So my question at hand is, why is that theme put into the movie when it really isn't discovered too much? It's a little bit half-baked if you ask me. By the end of the film, he's once again lonely, but now he's rich, and is he really happy with this ending? Sure, he's dancing, but is this really what he desired the whole entire time? Maybe, I don't know. I don't understand. He is a psychopath, and I'm not one of those, I think. Or maybe it could be some kind of guilt from the director herself, given Emerald also is from old money as well, so she knows very much about this lifestyle. The lesson is desire kills, and what's killing me right now is, why is TikTok so interested in this movie? I first thought it was because of the 3 thriller scenes, the bathtub, vampire, graveyard. All great shock factor and pretty raw scenes, which is true, and they go hard. I get it. It's a sec. This film is secretly made for the younger generation, my generation, Gen Z. What's up, y'all? The trailer shows a fun escape of reality within the summer, something college students all aspire for, and we just want freedom from our studies, from our life, and have no consequences whatsoever, which feels so unattainable because most college students aren't rich. When we find some sort of media that blows our expectations out of the water, of course we're gonna go to social media to tell people about it. That's the great thing we do. So, Emerald Fennel, I applaud you for making me watch a 2-hour film instead of playing video games for 2 hours. I did great use of my time too, yes. Overall, I give this movie a 4 out of 5. And if you stayed this long, thank you. I greatly appreciate it, for real. I hope you can share your thoughts on this film in the comment section politely. And also consider subscribing. I hope to see you next time. Ciao.